All right, so good evening, everyone. Please kindly confirm if you can hear me clearly. Please let me know if you all can actually hear me. I didn't know what was wrong with the network earlier, but I guess it was a server issue. But let me just know if you all could actually hear me very, very clear. Okay, so I'm using the mic now. Can you all still hear me while using the mic? Please tell everyone that is not in the class to join. Now, I think we are good with our network now. So please share this new link to people. Share the new link to people, please. Let me share the new link to people so that anybody that is not here should actually join us right now. Tonight is going to be a long night indeed. So um so if you have any of your friends that is not here, please tell them to join right now because I wasted a whole lot of time now. I don't even know it's going to take much like this. So we are going to start now. We are going to start now. Let's wait for most people to join us. So I clearly want to believe everybody is here in this class. I clearly want to believe everybody's here in this class. If you have anybody that is not here, tonight is very, very important. And I'm going to be taking attendance because we're going to be grouping everyone to their respective group this night. So if you have anybody that is not here, please kindly tell them to join now because I won't be repeating to this class. So kindly tell them to join this class now. So today is the third day of the boot camp. You guys have actually been impressing me a lot. Like you guys are busting my head seriously. Everywhere I turn to on Twitter, LinkedIn, I've been seeing your works. You guys are doing amazing well for you. You guys are doing amazing well, very very well. There is someone I saw his post. I think it was a lady. It was a guy. I saw his post on Twitter. It was a guy. I saw his post on Twitter. It was a video actually about the assignment I gave you guys. The way the guy actually broke down the workflow, like I was so impressed. I was so impressed. Like I'm going to DM that guy. I'm going to DM. I have personal interest in that guy. I think yeah, this is a guy. I bookmark his post actually. So it's going to be very easier for me to send him a DM. I was very very impressed. Like the way he broke down everything. Like bro, this just no client is going to see this what's called Loom video and reject it that he's not interested in your work. And to everyone that has not been attending classes, kudos to you guys. You guys are doing amazingly well. One thing is, I don't expect how we have almost 400 students if I can actually remember, but we are only having almost what's called just 70 people on this call. Okay, no problem. You guys should just continue. I know what to do because tonight we're going to separate. I'm sorry, but tonight we're going to, which I don't want to use separate sheep from goats. I want to use another analogy because we are all adults here. But tonight we're going to do separation. I'm going to drop an attendance at the end of this class for everyone to what's called to fill up. Then remember I said there's going to be a capstone project at the end of this boot camp. So we have not been following the curriculum. So we have added some things inside the curriculum. I intentionally told what's called the class rep the not to tell anyone about what I added in the curriculum. I want it as a surprise to everyone because I don't want everybody to have access to it. So this class was supposed to end on the 22nd of this month, but because of some things that I'm going to add, we are going to extend this class to 29th or 28th so that you guys can actually get the best value of what you are going to learn for this bootcamp. I didn't just want to teach you guys at what's called at the surface level. I want to go deep. Yeah. So I also got updates from Tech Baby after the class. He's also going to join you guys to give you guys some tips because it's one thing to learn, it's another thing to get clients. If you don't get clients, what's the essence of learning? So he's also going to come to teach you guys one or two things, and I'll also share one or two things. And I'm also planning to bring in. Remember, I told you from the beginning, I don't know yet to do, and I'm not promising. I'm also planning to bring in some founders here after, I think, the last day of our class. Maybe they could see. But that guy, I'm interested in that guy. I'll make sure I take him to I'll just make sure he gets an internship role in any. I'll just make sure because I was so impressed. I was so impressed. I'd forgotten his name, but I'm going to search for his name. I'm going to send him a DM. I'm going to send him a DM. I was so impressed with his video. It was just well detailed. It was just well detailed. And I know that was his first time because I went through his profile. That was the first time him learning automation. So I'm surprised, like, bro, even when I was in when I started, I couldn't make this kind of like very well detailed video that I can even use as a portfolio. He broke everything down bit by bit. So that guy, I'm very interested. The last day, I'll make sure. I'm not promising yet, but I'll make sure. Um, I what's called. I fix you up to any agency that might actually need any interns or something stuff like that. I'll make sure that I fix you up somewhere. So I'm watching you guys. I'm watching. I'm not. I'm to those I didn't retweet or comment. I'm still coming to everyone. I've been so busy for the past few days. I'm currently running a project, Project 50, and it's so an intensive project. So that's why, even right now, I just finished a meeting and I've been on call since 5 p.m. this evening from one meeting to another. But I had to just show up here because I don't want to keep postponing classes on and on. So that's just it because this class was supposed to hold on Saturday, but we couldn't hold it due to some reasons. So if you like, don't show up. If you like, don't attend classes. That's your own cup of tea. So let me just go diving into what we have today and what we are going to teach today. Tonight is going to be a bit, I don't know, depending on how spirit flows, but it's going to be a bit long. So first of all, hold on. Let me switch to my monitor. Hold on, guys. Okay. So, first of all, tonight, I believe everyone already has their anything accounts. For those that don't have their anything accounts, I don't think I will go back to that. And in our previous classes, I have talked about what AI automation is, what LLM is, and how you can actually build your first workflow. So today, before we start going deeper, because after today's class, our next class, I'm going to be talking about um, nodes because I see most of the issue most of you are having is because you don't understand what each node actually represents. So I'm going to be talking about nodes, API, webhook, and talking about different. I will teach you guys on how you can actually connect to different API platforms, Hugging Face, LinkedIn, Twitter, all other API platforms, Gemini, OpenAI. So that's going to be in our next class. We'll be talking about how to connect to all these API platforms. And once you've known everything, because after I've taught you guys on how to connect to APIs, and I've taught you guys what are rack agents. That's on Saturday we're going to be talking about rack agents, and on that Saturday we're going to be building an AI agent. I don't know, but it might be a WhatsApp AI agent. So I don't know if there's anyone that has any business they run on here. So you can just come to my send me a DM. I don't. Do you guys have my WhatsApp number? I'm going to drop my WhatsApp number, but please don't call me at midnight. Too. You can send me a DM. I will definitely reply, but please don't call me at midnight because sometimes I some people are very crazy. Like there was a day someone called me almost like 10 times just because he asked a question I didn't reply. So I'm going to drop my WhatsApp number. So I'm going to pick one person that has maybe a physical business or whatever business you're doing, and we're going to build an AI agent for your business. It might be a WhatsApp AI agent, Facebook, or email AI agent. So anyone who wants to build that day. So it's going to be centered on your business. We're going to build a FAQ for your business, build a RAG database for your business. So that day, that was on Saturday, we were talking about RAG and stuff like that. And after all this blah blah blah, we've talked about API, webhook, nodes, RAG. Then from next week, we are entering into serious business because we'll start building real life workflow. You see me come live, build live. We'll be building different kind of workflows and not just general workflows that business actually needs. So we're building workflows back to back, spend hours, build workflows together, debug together. So next week you are going to test your strengths before coming to class. Make sure you eat, feed very well because once we start to mama calls. So even if we are going to finish by 12 a.m., if you want to leave, leave. If you want to stay, stay. So depends on what actually want for yourself. So today we're going to talk about something super important that I think you really need to know about automation. It's actually how to import and export workflows in end. So let me share my screen for you guys to see. Let me share my screen. Oh, help me. So I'm going to be sharing my screen now. So I believe you all can see my screen. I believe you all can see my screen, right? If your network is doing you strong thing, you say do your network strong thing. Don't let your network do you strong thing this night too. All right, so you guys can see my screen now. So today I'm going to talk about something important that I think my screen is not clear but possible because I'm using the highest what's called the highest resolution, that's 1080p. So don't tell me my screen is not clear. I'm using the highest resolution right now, which is 1080p. So tonight I'm going to talk about something super important, something that I think you guys really need to know when it comes to building workflows on anything. And it's actually how you can actually import and export workflows in anything. Because I believe most of you don't even know that you can actually export other people's workflow on your what's called dashboard and actually build on it. Now, let me explain what importing and exporting workflow actually means. So now, imagine you've actually built a powerful automation workflow. Let's say a content, or let me say a WhatsApp follow-up system, and you want to maybe a client reach out to you that okay, um, Miracle, I want to build a WhatsApp lead follow-up system, and it's something you've built before. You've worked on it before. Now, you don't have to go through the stress of actually building from scratch again. All you have to do is just to use that same workflow in another project. Or maybe, do you know that you can even sell your workflow as a digital product? Do you know? I don't think most of you even know about that. One thing is, in this automation space, there are a whole lot of earning strategies, a whole lot of earning strategies. Even if you go on Upwork right now, there are some people that they will tell you that they don't want, no, they will tell you to teach them how to build this, and that's another earning opportunity on its own. So there are some people that if you go on Gumroad, I'm not supposed to say this site itself, if you go on Gumroad, server was called. There are a whole lot of people that are actually selling their workflow as a digital product. Let me go to anything templates so that you guys can actually see what I'm talking about. So now if you go to anything templates, let me search for, because I know definitely I'm going to see um, a paid a paid template. So all these are templates. I think I've talked about what template is in my last video. I talked about what anything template. So anything template is where you can actually uh, the end template is actually where you can actually what's called have access to a whole lot of varieties of templates that have been built by other creators. So that's just what anything template is. Can you see we have a whole lot of templates? This is a RAG chatbot for companies, stuff like that, AI powered bots, a whole lot of templates, and all you have to do is what's called copy these templates and you are just good to go. So now for let's say under this ticket manager now, there are a whole lot of people that are actually selling what's called these templates. There are a whole lot of people that are selling templates and not for free. So can you see this one is selling is for free. It's for free. Let me load more. There are more than eight. I think we have more than 8,000 plus templates on what's called anything that you can actually use. But I don't advise people to actually use templates because it's going to make you lazy and you might not even learn. So the best thing is actually to build your own, and you can also sell your own templates. Now see this guy. He built an AI email autoresponder system, an AI rack agent for email inbox. So let me see what this guy built. Let me see what this guy built. So he built an AI email autoresponder smart client reply automation with rack. So can you see how it works? So the step-by-step process, all that stuff like that. Now, can you see the price? You have to buy for $39. So that's another monetization strategy. You can actually sell what's called your workflow and you get paid for it. So if I want to buy this workflow, let's say I'm very interested in this workflow, I have to click on buy. So it's going to redirect me to his website or wherever place his what's called he wants to sell his workflow. So all what I'm trying to say is that there are a whole lot of monetization strategies if you want to monetize your automation journey. So you can actually sell your workflow as a digital product to people. So now, and you selling it out or copying other people's templates, that's where importing and exporting workflows actually comes in. So importing and exporting workflows, or what's called importing your workflows, is just like you saving your recipe, and you can reuse it again and again without you cooking from scratch. So now, for you to actually have access to the importing what's called of anything workflows. So all you have to do is first of all go to your dashboard. You're going to see these three dotted lines at the top right corner of your dashboard. Now, this is where all the magic happens. Now, when you click on it, you're going to see duplicates, you're going to see download, and you're going to see rename, you're going to see import from URL, and you're also going to see import from file. Now, because we are trying to import our what's called workflow, all you have to do is to click on import from file. And when you click on import from file, it's going to you're just going to go to where you have your what's called workflow. Let's say I have this workflow now. This is a lead scraper workflow that I built. So can you see I just imported it and you can just save it just like that. So now let's say I gave you a workflow to use in this bootcamp and I asked you to actually edit or do something about it. So all you have to just do is just to click on the three dotted what's called and import it from file and choose the JSON file I shared to you, which is this JSON file, and boom, it actually loads into your anything canvas. So if you can't see my screen, that means it's your phone because I'm using the highest resolution actually. And Miracle, you can you see my screen? Miracle, can you see my screen? Please let me know. Can you see my screen, Miracle? My screen very very clear. Please let me know. Okay, you can see my screen. Thank you. So as long as Miracle can see my screen, I believe everyone else can actually see my screen. So now let's talk about exporting workflow. So exporting your workflow is simply what's called saving your workflow into your what's called phone into your PC. Now, when you have a phone number, you have a contact. So, when you have a phone number, you have a contact, you can always save your contacts on your phone. So now you can, I always advise people to actually back up your workflows on your GitHub. I believe everyone on this call has a GitHub account. If you don't have one, please go and create a GitHub account. You are now a developer. You are now a developer. You are now a tech pro. So you should have your Git So you should have your GitHub account. You are now a developer, you're not a tech guru. So I believe you also have your GitHub account. So I always tell people save up your workflow in your GitHub account. GitHub account is one of the most safest place to save your work because even after 5 years, 10 years, you can still have access to it. And there are some times when clients will ask you to share your portfolio, so you can just share them um, So you can just share them your GitHub profile. So you can just what's called. Sorry guys, I actually received email that they actually a bad email, so that's why I was taking a break. Okay, so let's continue. Bro, fuck. Um, so it's just like you. What was I saying before I got distracted? So it's just like you. Some client may actually request for your GitHub profile for them to have access to what's called. No, GitHub is not only for storing code. You can also store your what's called anything. There's even what's called push to Git, but you have to connect your GitHub profile to anything before you can be able to push to GitHub. So um, okay, so you can actually store your what's called your workflow in GitHub, and it gets better from there. So, how do you export your workflow? All you have to do is just click on the three dotted button as usual again, and just click on download. And once you click on download, the workflow you downloaded is here, and you can just share it to whoever you want to share it to, and store it to wherever you want to store it to. So now let's say I want to use an anything workflow. Like I said earlier, there are thousands of templates out there. You will find a whole lot of automation for almost every department: marketing, sales, IT, finance, like a whole lot. So now let's say I need a sales automation template. I'll just click on the sales, and I'm going to see thousands of workflows on the sales, whether it's CRM, lead generation. Let me click on lead generation. So I'm going to see a whole lot of workflows under lead generation. So you can just click on it, and this one is free. Just use it for free, and it's going to tell you whether to what's called import it to your workspace or copy template to clipboard or wherever you want to use your workspace. And once I import it to my own workspace, it's actually going to come up now. That's the lead generation. So let me just keep all this rubbish and boom. What's called our what's lead generation is ready. So I don't advise you to use templates. Learn first. When you are good, then you can now start using templates. I also use templates, but I don't use their templates as their. I don't use their original work. There's sometimes maybe I have a call. There's some client that would send you a DM right now. I need so thing. Can we jump on a call in the next 10-15 minutes? And you have to crack your head. Okay, what should I do? What do I build? So most times I use templates to get ideas of what I can actually put. Like maybe I want to expand my workflow. I go to templates, check out for people that have built something similar to what I have built, check out what they did and the kind of if I might tell you to be the lead generation agent now, the way I will build my own lead generation agent might be different from the way you will build your own lead generation agent. This afternoon, this evening, I posted about a research analyst that I built. Now, I saw someone that actually did something similar to that, and that person used Perplexity as part of their what's called to check for the company's research, blah blah stuff like that, apart from relevance AI. But I used Open AI for mine, and we all arrived at the same thing. So most times, just use templates to get ideas about what what's called people have built. Don't copy and paste because this yeah automation space right now is just messed up. Every day I'll be seeing how people, though I know it's actually clickbait, especially on Twitter. If you posting, you have access to over 1,000 stuff like that. You have access to, how many do you want to? Most of see, there will come a time that most of this building won't even have time to build because once you have your niche and you have what you actually work on, you won't even have time checking other people need or building. The only thing is that you have to just keep learning. Maybe whenever they introduce any new notes or any new updates, just keep learning about it. But you building this, do you want to build 1,000 workflows at a time? Do you want to pitch 1,000 workflows at a time? If you start pitching 1,000 workflows, how many people do you want to pitch to? Because each niche has their own request. I personally, I came from the marketing niche because I was the sales manager when I was still working, doing my 9 to 5 career, blah 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 stuff like that. So I knew what salespeople need. I know what they need. I know their pain points. No, so now you understanding their pain points will help you to actually know what kind of automation do you need to build. You don't need all those 1,000. Like it's just they are just using you guys to farm engagement on Twitter. I just found a resource that has over 10,000 workflows. Can you? And the funniest thing, most of them has they have most of these things that they ask you to go to they have injected some what's called some stupid raw rubbish inside, and even client self. There was a, I think it was a friend, it was a friend of mine on Upwork. A client sent it like a client wanted to be wanted some automation, blah blah. So they've concluded, they've they've done all these what's called. So he wanted to send a contract. So he sent a Google Drive file link to that guy, um, to what's called to that guy to check what he wants to build, not knowing that that client has actually injected some has actually injected. I don't even know how he did it because I was like, bro, I won't even know for real because it looks so real. It looks so real. Like you even think it's a Google Drive link. It looks so very very real. I didn't even know how the guy knew it was a phishing link. So he copied that link, used it on another system. That's when he knew that it was actually the guy was a hacker. And once you copy that link and open that file, you're going to have access to your computer and your screen is going to. I don't even understand how they used to do. So this automation space, you have to be very, very careful. Very careful. Clients will do their own. People that will drop templates to online, you will do their own. See, it's just that there's a whole lot of noise in the automation space right now. I know everything's going to die down very soon. Everything's going to die down very soon. I will know the difference between the real builders and those that are just shouting online. Because if you go on YouTube now, everybody, I made 500K in a month from AI automation. I make $1 million in a month from AI automation. Bro, let us rest. Especially all these what's called American guys. I make all these using people to farm YouTube views and stuff like that. Let us rest. There's money in AI automation, but stop making people to believe that they can actually make 100K dollars in a month running an AI agency. I'm not saying that it's not possible. You can get a client that is going to, but how many clients you want to get that is going to give you 100K dollars in a month? Ah, I don't like share crypto be forex. So they are just trying to make people seems AI automation is just that easy. See, in AI automation, there's another phase for learning, and there's another phase when after you've learned, you have to start what's called pitching to clients to get jobs. That's why I was telling you guys to start building in public now because when that time comes, when you start pitching, it will be very easier for you. You already have a social proof of what you've done already. Not that when you start pitching. One of the disadvantages I faced, one of the regrets I had in my early career, I told you guys, clients were asking for my social media profile, GTalk, stuff like that, LinkedIn profile, but I had no proof. I was good at what I do actually. I was good at what I do actually, but where is the proof? Nobody knows me online. That's when it dawned on me that, bro, you really want to succeed, though. You just have to show up yourself. See all these things I'm doing. I'm a very, I'm an introvert. I love my space a lot. I love my space a lot. I just love staying alone. But I believe if you want to make money, you just have to come out there. There's I watched a video by one of my favorite coach, Dan Locke. He said something. He said they will tell you that follow what you have, follow what you love, follow what you love. If you are following what you love, right, it's not even about following what you love at this point because do you think it's easy for me to wake up 5 a.m.? Do I love to wake up 5 a.m.? This morning I was so tired, and I know if I don't wake up 5 a.m., I won't be able to meet up with what I want to do. I slept around at 2 o'clock, and I still have to wake up 5. Do I wish to wake up 5? Do I wish? Do I love waking up 5? At this point, I'm supposed to be in a lounge enjoying myself, like eating one hot pepper soup and stuff like that. But I just have to show up. Do I do I love that? So success is hard, but most people don't what's called don't want to go through that process. And that's what is really paining me, this AI automation. If there's one thing that is paining me this AI automation space is all these YouTubers, they are doing a whole lot of damage to people that they don't even know because people don't like everybody is launching AI agency, AI agency, AI agency, AI agency. If you go to Reddit every day, I will see a lot of complaint. I'm not getting jobs. You guys are not explaining like what is actually means to actually get a job as an AI automation specialist. You're not even explaining the rudiment these guys need to know that getting a launching or starting an AI automation agency or what's called whatever blah 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 is you are doing, if you don't understand business problem, you are going to struggle getting clients. If you don't understand what business wants, you are going to struggle get. See, let me just leave this for another day. I think it's not for tonight. It's not for tonight. So, like I was saying earlier, you can actually import and export workflows like copy and paste um, for automation builder. So you can reuse what others have done, back up your progress, share your creation, and even making much money. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is I'm trying to lay basis is execution. Is execution. So let me share my screen. Okay, I should just hold on. So now let's talk about execution. This was the what's called lead research agent I built today that I posted on Twitter. This was the lead research AI agent I I built today. So now I want to talk about execution. What exactly is execution, and how do you monitor, debug, and troubleshoot your workflow inside anything? Now, one thing you need to know is execution is actually one of my favorites because it gives you an X-ray version of what you need to know about everything that is happening in your workflow. So it lets you see everything that is happening behind the scenes when your automation run, what worked and what failed, and where the issue actually came from. So what is execution log? Now, whenever you build an automation in anything, zpmrig.com. Let's say you collect a feedback form. Now, every time that workflow runs, NATA records the full history of that execution. It's just like a workflow black box recorder. In every airplane now, I don't know, there's always what we call a black box. Even if there's a plane crash, that black box can never go missing because that black box has all the recordings of what is happening in that what's called aeroplane. So in that airplanes or blah blah stuff like that. So if anything goes wrong with that plane, you can actually play what happened and find exactly where the crash occurred. So inside anything you can also do this. Anything has an execution log which serve as the brain box for all your automation, where you can check whatever is going on in your own workflow. Now, this is your editor. This is where you build your and design your own workflow. And this here is your execution log. So now can you see these executions? Can you see all these execution blah blah stuff like that? So now how does this works? When you go to execution, you are going to see a list of workflows that you've built that have run. So now each workflow has a color indication. There is green and there is red. Now green means success. All this green you are seeing right here, it actually means your workflow is running fine. And red actually means failure. So now let me show you guys here. Let's wait for it to load. So now can you see? It actually tell me that this wrong workflow refused to work. So and also one thing I love about this execution log is it's going to tell the exact date and time this workflow actually run, and it's actually very useful when you're texting multiple items together. So now if you click on any of these executions, you're going to see the full details. Let it load. Let it load. So I'm going to see the full details of everything that is happening on this what's called execution log. Anything is going to give you a visual breakdown of everything that happened on this execution log. So if any node fails, anything is going to tell you the error message That's why I always tell people don't panic. I think I posted it on LinkedIn. I'm part of how to overcome challenges as an AI automation specialist. One thing is you always face error. So one thing is you always face error on AI automation, building AI automation. So now the best thing is to first of all to calm down and check what exactly went wrong. And how do you check? How do you know what exactly went wrong? Is by checking your execution log to see, because there are some times that most of you will panic. My automation is not working. My automation is not doing this. Blah blah blah, stuff like that. Sometimes it might be a missing API key. Sometimes it might be an invalid data format, or sometimes it might be one value is required in values to send, stuff like that. So now, for my own case right here, if you check the error that I have here, let me open it. So for my own case right here, the error I have here is because of bad parameters. Why? Because I was using anything open AI free credit. So I had to change it to my open AI credit. Now in my next class I'm going to tell you about how you can actually sign up on OpenAI and how to connect your accounts to Open AI. Now, one thing you need to know is that you can't edit on execution log. If you want to edit, you have to go back to your editor. That's where you can actually edit your workflow. Your execution log is only for monitoring your workflow, and you can't actually fix the workflow here. You can't drag, drop, or type anything inside the execution log. You can only look at what happened in the execution log. It's just like you watching replay of a match, let's say Nigeria versus Benin. So like you can't change that Nigeria actually gave Benin 4-0. You can't change that because the decision has been made already. Yeah, you were using OpenAI credit and kept getting error for workflow. That means your OpenAI has been exhausted. I'm not going to record this class. Allah, I'm not recording this class. So that means your OpenAI credit has been the what's called the free trial, the free credit you're going to get when you sign up on anything is just, in fact, it won't actually what's called really stay long. The best thing I'll advise is to actually get connected to an OpenAI account. Fund $5. That $5 can last you for a month, 2 months, 3 months. It's just 7.5. Very, very cheap. Just fund $5 on your anything on your OpenAI credit. So, but if you don't want to use OpenAI, you can use Gemini. Gemini is free. I don't think you need that, but I don't use Gemini. I don't use Gemini. I prefer OpenAI for on my automation. So Gemini is free. So your execution log, like I said earlier, is just like watching the replay of a football match. You can't change the goal that was missed, but you can actually see what went wrong in training. So if you find any issue, just switch back to the editor tab and make the correction there, and then run your workflow for it to work. Then also, there's also an execution log here, down here. When you just click on this, let's go back to our editor. So when you just click on this, what's called logs here, there's also an execution log there that you can actually what's called have access to. Now, why is this very important? Is because when you start building different complex automation or AI agents, you are going to deal with what's called several multiple steps, and maybe sometimes you might have almost like 10, 20, 30 nodes connected together. Now, without you having the execution log, you are going to spend a whole lot of time debugging for real, because it's a thing to build an automation, it's a thing to spend much time debugging. So you're going to spend a whole lot of time debugging. So that's why the execution log is actually very, very important. You can literally see which node failed and which one caused error and how long each node took to execute. You guys are seeing that I'm actually breaking this thing down. I'm taking it slow by slow so that when we start to real practical, when we start building complex practicals, you guys won't be taking me back to telling me that you guys don't understand now. I'm trying to break it down. Normally, I'm not supposed to do this, but I'm just trying to break it down so that because when we start entering complex automations now, you guys won't have any issues. You're able to understand every steps I'm going to be talking about. So far very good. I've told you what an execution is and also what's called. Now there is a what's called. I'm trying. Let me hear your opinion. Do you guys want me to teach how to install anything on your laptop locally? Let me know. Drop your opinion on the chat. It's actually included on the curriculum, but I want to know if you guys actually need it. Do you guys want me to explain on how you can actually? You don't need to use Docker, please. You don't need to use Docker. You only need Node.js for what's called. Now, one thing you need to understand that I told you guys in our previous classes that there are several ways to use the anything what's called um, the anything what's called the anything what's called platform. I've talked about the cloud and also the hosting on your VPS or on your own computer. Now, the anything cloud is the easiest options of hosting anything. It's just like you having what's called you using Netflix, so you don't have to install anything. All you have to do is just to log in and start building, and that's just it. The advantage of using um, the cloud version of anything, you can actually build automation instantly. No setup, no configuration. You don't need any terminal commands to actually build it. So the advantage of using the cloud version or VPS version is just simplicity. You can focus on creating workflows without worrying about hosting, updates, or maintenance. But there is one limitation. They are using their own server, not your own. But if you want more control, heavy customization, you can actually use your own VPS server. But I don't advise beginners to actually start automations on local to run automation locally because at first it's going to look confusing because now one of the firstly before I even go about talking about how to install anything locally, the disadvantage is that once your system goes off, your automation goes off. Set it, let me break it down. Once your system goes off, your automations actually goes off also. So if you are planning on installing and what's called anything locally on your laptop, that means your laptop must be on 247 because once your laptop goes off, your anything accounts will go up. That's why most people don't even install. They don't use. You can only use your what's called your local anything to just practice, but not for full scale. Not for full scale automation because if you want to use for full scale automation, that means your PC must be on 247. But if you want to what's called use it on locally, that means your PC must be on 247. But if you want to use it for production style, go for VPS. That's just it. So your own local installation is just like you creating your own private lab. You can test. Someone said NEPA. You guys should calm down. You guys should calm down. National grid is for anyhow. Go buy solar. You guys should buy solar. Don't worry, when you start making money now, go buy solar. Solar is as long as you're still in Nigeria, you should always have alternative. I know there are people from I think there's someone from Ghana here. There's someone also from London. Yeah. Then I think there's someone I saw someone from US. Yeah, I think there's someone from USA. So those ones they can actually relate. When you're in Nigeria, you can actually what's called you should always know that NEPA can fuck up anytime. So that's why you should just bank on solar. So so that's just it. Your local machine is just like you having your own private lab. You can test, break, and rebuild all from your own laptop. And the best part is it's completely free. It's completely free. You don't need to spend any amount you have on your own computer. Now, let me just walk you guys through because I already have it on my system, so I won't be going through the download. But let me teach you guys on how you can actually download it, what's called on your PC and have access to it. Now, one thing is for you to be able to run anything locally on your from what's called PC, there are two methods. Is either you use Docker or you use Node.js. But I even myself, I don't like Docker. Docker is very, very stressful. It's too, I don't like Docker. So the best way I advise people if you want to host anything locally on your computer is to use Node.js. Now, how do you use Node.js? Is actually just come to anything, just search on your browser and search for anything GitHub. So once you search for anything GitHub, I hope you guys can see my screen. So once you search for anything GitHub, you can just click on this first link you are seeing right here. So now this is the anything GitHub stuff like that. You can see the ratings. So I told you guys you can contribute to what's called you can also contribute, you can just to build something. So now there are two ways to install anything on your PC. So you can either use Node.js or you deploy with Docker. But I don't advise people to use Docker, just use Node.js. So once you're on anything.github, just click on Node.js. So once you click on Node.js, it might actually sound technical at first, but it's actually very, very easy. This one is very, very easy for Node.js. It's actually very, very easy. So you're going to see, I don't know, okay, you guys can see my screen. You're going to see get Node.js. You're going to see, you're going to see get Node.js. So once you click on get Node.js, it's going to ask you to download. For those that are using MacBook, if you're using MacBook installation is quite different. That means I might have to do a separate video for those that are using MacBook. This is for those that are actually using Windows to install anything. But if you're using MacBook, you can just click on macOS and download it. But it's actually a separate, different process for MacBook. So this one is actually for these that are using Windows. I think 70 to 80% of those people on this call are using Windows. So once you click on download, it's going to download and install on your PC, and that's just it. So once you've installed it on your PC, I have it already on my PC. That's why I'm not what's called um what's called I'm not downloading anything. So once it has installed on your PC, all you have to do is just come to your search bar and search for Node. JS command prompt. So once you search for Node.js command prompt, let me share my screen. Let me share my screen. It's looking like coding, K. It's not coding, Let me share my screen. So this is the Node.js command prompts that you guys can actually see here. So now if you want to install anything, I have anything installed already, so I'm not going to go through this process. So if you want to install anything, once you have your environment on your Node JS, or what's called Node.js on your system. So you're going to open your Node.js command prompt and just go back to anything GitHub. So once you go back to anything GitHub, remember what's called the code we are going to copy, which is this nps space anything, and you click on enter. So once you click on that, it's going to install anything locally on your system. So this might actually take few minutes depending on your internet speed, and once it's done, you are good to go. So because I've actually what's called um install anything on my laptop already. I have it there already. So now, once I've done with all the installations, and if I want to open anything, and all you have to do is just open back your JS command prompt and just type anything. Sorry, just type anything and click on enter. So it's going to actually run anything. So just wait for a few seconds and you land on the anything setup page. So I'm still waiting for it to run. So it's installing anything process, and let's see what we have. So can you see our anything editor is now accessible? So it's going to give us a local host link that we are going to use to access our anything dashboard. So I'm just going to copy this local host link http dot. So now you can actually okay, I mistakenly shut it down. Let me run it again. Let me run it again. I mistakenly shut it down. So let me run it again. So you can actually connect your domain. If you have a domain, you can connect your domain. But these things are very, very stressful for you. Because remember I said earlier, once your PC goes off, this thing is also going off near, also low near. So now the automation also go off. So now we started it, and these are local host link that we are going to use to access anything. So all I have to do is just go back to our browser and paste. You guys can't see my screen, K. Ah, Jesus Christ. So let me explain the process from the beginning. I thought my screen was called. Now, for you to run, you guys should calm down. So okay, let me start from the beginning again. I thought I actually added my screen. Let me start from the beginning again. So now, after you've installed anything, your Node.js on your computer, now the next thing you have to do is just to go to your browser search bar and type and search for Node.js and command prompt. Now, once you have Node.js, let me share my screen. You can so I'll share my screen now. So now once you have any Node.js already on your what's called. So once you have Node.js already on your PC, so now if you have installed anything already, so because I've installed anything already, so I'm not going to I'm not going to run through it again. So I'm not going to run through it again. So now for me to actually go back to anything, all I have to click on is just to type out N8N and click on enter, and it's actually going to run the code for us, and our N8N in local dashboard is going to come out. So it's going to give us a link to our anything local dashboard where we can have access to our anything. So it's currently running. Let's wait for it to finish running. It's not blank. My screen is not blank. So now can you see the what's called the local host link on our served host? Okay, I mistakenly shut it down. Bro, so now I shut it down. I mistakenly shut it down. So let me reopen it again. So just type anything and click on enter. You guys can't see. Okay, my screen is live. Oh. You guys should see. Oh. Okay, so it's currently initializing. So let's wait for it to get. So our local host link is ready for our anything account. So just copy the link and head over to your browser. So once you head over to your browser, let me share my browser also. Let me share my browser. So now this is the local host link we got from our what's called anything. So I'm just going to click on enter. And because I've registered before, so it's actually going to just go back. So this is your self-hosted anything account. Now, let me give you guys a trick. If so, this is my self-hosted anything account. Now, let me give you guys a trick. How do I get the anything? I explained already now. I explained. I said once the first process was to install Node.js first on your computer, and once you've installed Node.js first on your computer, the next thing for you to do is to actually run the anything installation process. And I said you have to go back to anything GitHub. So once you've what's called installed the Node.js on your PC, you have access to the Node.js command prompts. So now once you have access to Node.js command prompts, for you to install anything, you go come back to anything GitHub and you copy this what's called this exact code. Now the reason why I'm not running this is because I've already installed anything on my computer. That's why I'm not trying to rerun this. So once you copy this exact anything code, then you go back to your Node.js command prompt and you are going to rerun it. Now, let me close it and start it from the beginning again. Let me close it. So now, let's say I want to start my anything account. I've already installed Node.js and I've already installed anything. So now for me to actually start my automation, all I have to do is go to my browsers, my Google apps, and search for my window app and search for Node.js command prompt. So let me share my screen again. So this is how the Node.js command prompt actually looks like. This is how the Node.js command prompts actually looks like. So now for me to actually run this automation, for me to know whether my automation is live, for my automation to actually go live, because if you don't start anything on your Node.js command prompt, anything is not going to work. So all I have to do is just come back to my Node.js and click on and type anything and press enter. So it's going to run my anything initialization and it's going to give me a local host link which I'm going to use. Jesus. Someone said you can't find Node.js on your app store. I've already taught you guys, please watch this. Please, I told you guys that you can actually get Node.js. I said you should go to anything GitHub. Now, once you go to anything GitHub, scroll down. You're going to, I showed you guys from that was the first thing I did in the beginning on how you can actually download Node.js. You have to go to anything GitHub and download it from there. It's not an app store. App store, okay. Oh, why real? App Store, okay. The deal is not on App Store. Okay, if you came late, Nokia is not on App Store. You have to go to anything GitHub and download it there. You can't find it on App Store. It's actually a coding. Don't worry, you guys are going to get conversant with all these things. Yes, there will be a time when after you've been automations, you can start vibe coding. As I am, I'm not a programmer. I don't have coding knowledge, but bro, I can build a full stack website using AI, a full stack within a few minutes. Just give me my VS Code, give me what's called Copilot, give me Cloud AI. I'll give you a full fledged website. Even if it's a fintech website, just give me these three things. It's not looking like mathematics. Oh. So now our initialization is done and we have our local host link already, which is the HTTP dot localhost blah 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 stuff. So I'm going to copy it and head over to my browser. So now once I head over to my browser and just paste the link that I copied from my Node.js account. Let me share my screen again. So I've copied the link and I'm going to click on enter. So when I click on enter, it's going to give me access to my Node.js localhost anything account. So this is a fresh account actually. But if this is your first time installing anything, it's going to ask you to create an email and put in a password. Now, one interesting fact about this thing is that when I close my command prompt, I won't be able to access this link anymore. So that's one of the disadvantage of using um, Node.js on your what's called on your PC because hmm, on each local installation it comes with a whole lot of stress. So now let me break it down for most of you that actually find it confusing. Now, what is Node.js? What exactly is Node.js? Now, don't let that name scare you because someone is telling me that is so you guys the crazy. So now, what is Node.js? Don't let that name scares you. It's very, very simple. It's just like an engine that powers anything in the hood. Now, if your computer is a car, you need an engine for that car to move, right? You need an engine for that car to move. So Node.js is that engine that makes that car to move. And well, well. I don't really advise beginners to because there's a whole lot of stress. Apart from even installing it, you have to constantly be updating your anything instance on your what's called on your PC because every day they release a whole lot of updates. So Running anything locally is perfect. It's actually perfect if you are still learning. You can test your ideas, experiment with automations, and build skills faster. But when you are ready to start building real automations that will go live, you need a VPS or you use anything cloud. Because VPS, anything clouds can run your automation 247 without it going off. But you see, local what's called local stuff, it can run your automation 247. Once your PC is going off, forget your automation is going to go off. So your local setup is just your simple playground. You can just learn, just play around it. It's just a playground for you. That's what your local what's called um anything stuff is. So now you have to keep updating yourself to anything using Docker. So I don't really advise it for beginners for real. I won't tell you the lie. I won't actually casual you. I don't advise beginners to start um working on because there are some times when anything you release an update and you might need to update your anything instance. So cloud version is safer because it works 247. It runs 247 even if you are not there. So cloud is not expensive. I've given you guys several options that you can actually use to install to run what's called. Please, Miracle, remind me to share a link for you guys on how you can actually have up to 1 year access for free for to host anything on cloud version. If you have student email, I can teach you guys on how you can actually have access to GitHub. If you have a student email, I can give you how you can have access to 1 year free access to Ocean. But apart from Ocean, there are a lot of other VPS server that can give you up to 1 year access to what's called. So I'm going to please just remind me Miracle tomorrow so I can share you guys on how you can actually have access to, or I can even do a video on that on how you can actually have access to what's called to the what's to the 1 year free company email. No, you can't use company email. It's strictly for students. It's actually a student package, student email stuff like that. So I think that's all about importing execution, blah blah blah. There's one topic I think I might need to cover tonight, which is understanding what nodes is actually is, what exactly is node, and how does node actually work? Because the moment you understand what node is, anything will stop looking like a magic to you, and you start feeling like like a superhero yourself. Because I noticed the last time we did an automation, most of you were confused. Like, what did I do? What did I do? Hmm. So now you understanding what Node is, because one thing is Node is the heartbeat of every automation. Without Node, I don't know how you want to build the automation. So Node is just the heartbeat of every automation. Now I want to think of Node as, let's say, an organ in a human body. Now in a human body we have the heart, the lungs, the brain. Now they all work together, and that's exactly how automation work. So this night I'm just going to break down the major node in anything in the most simplest way possible, and I'll show you exactly how you can actually combine them to build any automation from scratch. So what are nodes? I said a node is just an action. It's actually something that does a task inside your workflow. Now let's say you have a small team And let's say I have a team of five. I have team of five. I have Miracle on my team. I have Lillian on my team. I have Oluwaseun on my team. I have Mr. Oluwaseun on my team. I have Grace. I have Sophia, and I have Habib. Now, on my team of a team of five, one person collects informations. That's one person collects data. Let's say Lillian collects data, Grace stores the data, Miracle sends email, Mr. Olashon post updates, and now if you notice that each person in this team has a role to play, right? Each person in this team has a role to play. Now, it's just like a node also. In every automation, each node is that person. Each node has a role they are playing in every automation. You don't need to write any code, you don't need to do anything. All you have to do is just to connect them together and they start working like a digital team. Like for example, in our last class, we make use of a webhook node, webhook. We make use of a webhook node. Now, what is webhook node does is to collect data, and we also make use of a Google Sheet node. We use the Google Sheet node to actually saves this what's called. They actually use this Google Sheet node to save this data, and we also use the Gmail node to send them an email. So that's what node is. Each node has their own function. This webhook is to collect our data. This Google Sheet is to save our data, and the Gmail node is to send an email. So that's how automation works, one node at a time. You need to connect these nodes together because they work interchangeably. So now let's go deeper. Every anything node, please, you guys should listen at this point. If you have jotter, jot it down. If you want to write, write now. Because as the spirit leads, it's flowing. So now, in every anything node, they all falls into three families, right? Every node you are seeing here in these nodes, every node you are seeing here, they all falls into three families. We have the trigger node, we have the action node, we have the logic node. What did I say? We have the trigger node. Huh? Can I write? Call me, hold on. Yes. So I don't think I can write, but let me just explain. You guys should this thing because I'm not writing right now. So you have the trigger node, you have the action node, and you have the logic node. Now, this trigger node, what exactly are trigger node and how does it work? Now, a trigger node is just like a doorbell of your automation, right? In every house, in every place you go, there's always a door that you have to pass to have access to that building, to have access to that office. And without that door, you can't have access to it. So a trigger node is just like a doorbell of every automation. Without a trigger node, your workflow cannot start. I don't see how genius you are. Something must actually trigger your workflow to start, right? Something must trigger your workflow to start. Now, you want to wake up by 5 a.m. What is that thing that is going to trigger you to wake up? Is it by pouring water on your head so that you can wake up because a lot of you love sleep? Or by using alarm that you even off the alarm that most of you won't even wake up. Now, that alarm is a trigger because once you hear that alarm, you know it's time for you to wake up to start your day. So a trigger node is a doorbell ring that starts every automation, right? And we have the webhook node, we have the cron node, and we also have the form trigger or Google Sheet trigger. Now, we in our last class we used the webhook node, right? We use the webhook node. The webhook node is that bell. Now, what's that webhook node? If you remember, our webhook waits for something to actually happen before it triggers that workflow. Is someone hearing me? It's waiting for something to happen before you trigger that workflow. Something must start the engine. Exactly. Now, in our previous classes, the webhook we used was that okay, anything, whenever someone submits a data on my phone, trigger this workflow. That means our webhook is waiting to receive data. Our webhook is waiting to receive interaction in your external website or wherever you connect your webhook to. It is waiting to receive data so that it can actually trigger this workflow. So webhook has several webhooks out there. It might be WhatsApp webhook, a lot. But all these things still, once you understand what webhook is, you also understand what other node is. So a webhook is the bell. It waits for something to happen before it rings the bell. Kulum, 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 kulum. It's time for it to activate this workflow. Right? A webhook is a bell that waits for something to happen. Now, we also have the cron node. What is a cron node? What exactly is a cron node? A cron node is what tells your workflow. Now, this is a schedule trigger, this is a cron node. Now, a cron node is like your alarm clock. It wakes your workflow at specific time. Now, I can set up this cron node, this schedule trigger that okay, at every day, at so time, 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m., 5 a.m., send me a message in my email. It is programmed that okay, every 3 days, I want you to check the number of leads you have gotten and analyze them. That is a cron node. That is a cron node. It's actually an alarm that works based on what you've set it to do. You don't need to be there for it to work. As long as you've set it, okay, that at every day by 5 a.m., look into my calendar and check what activities do I have to that day and send the analysis to me on WhatsApp. That is what cron node does, right? It wakes your workflow at a specific time. Now, we also have the form trigger, which starts your workflow when a new data is added. We have the form trigger, anytime form, or new anytime form event. So now, this form trigger, it starts the workflow. Whenever I fill this form now, it is going to execute my workflow, right? It's going to execute my workflow. Let me test something. Please, someone should give me his or her LinkedIn URL. Someone should give me his or her LinkedIn URL. Someone, any fast person, please, someone should give me his or her, an active LinkedIn URL, your LinkedIn profile URL. Very, very active, very, very that you actually post a lot on LinkedIn. Drop your URL on the comment section. Or let me just which person link can I use? Give me a suggestion of someone you think I should make a research on. I want to explain that form trigger. I want to explain that form trigger for you guys. Let me use who's a popular person. Let me use who can I pick to? Let me use um let me use okay. Let me just go on LinkedIn. I think I know who to use. Let me use someone very, very popular. Let me use okay, let me use Mr. Oluwasho. Mr. Oluwasho, I'm going to use your profile. Let me make a research about Mr. Oluwasho profile. I'm going to use your have you granted me the permission to use? Can I use it, Mr. Oluwasho? So your profile I saw first. Okay. So let me use Mr. Oluwasho profile. So I'm going to use his LinkedIn profile. Now, what am I trying to explain to you guys is that so let me execute, let me change my screen. Let me share this tab. So now, remember I said a form submission is when you submit a data and that's what it actually triggers your workflow whenever a new data is needed. So now, this is a lead research agent that I built that whenever I want to pitch to someone, all I have to do is just to input that person's LinkedIn URL and it's going to extract their data, everything I need to know about them, and it's going to send it to email to me. So let me just execute this workflow. So can you see I have a form here? So I have the form here. This is a form that I built, LinkedIn Research Analyst. I'm going to paste Mr. Oluwaseun LinkedIn URL. So now, immediately I click on submit, it's going to trigger my workflow. Immediately I click on submit, it is going to trigger my workflow. So let me click on submit. So now, can you see my workflow is currently running? Immediately I submitted the LinkedIn profile. My workflow is currently running. So let me see what we have. Let me see what we have. So it's currently scraping Mr. Oluwaseun profile. We are trying to get the best thing for him. Okay. You want me to pitch to Tony Olumelu? Tony Olumelu. What do you want to pitch to him? So I'm going to scraping Mr. Oluwaseun's profile. Now, what starts this workflow? Form submission, right? Immediately I submitted his LinkedIn URL, it activated my what's called my anything profile, my anything workflow. So it's currently scraping Mr. Oluwaseun, and let's see what the result we have about this workflow that I built. So hey Jesus Christ. So here's a summary report of oh fuck. So let me execute this step. So here's a summary report of who Mr. Oluwaseun is. So can you guys see my screen? So can you see who Mr. Oluwaseun is? Immediately I submitted his profile. So that was the LinkedIn research analyst that I built that I posted on X. So he said Oluwaseun Adeni is a seasoned product manager and a sales leader with over a decade of experience. He told us about who he is and what he does. Okay, this is the company he's working with and his interest, his unique fact, his similarities. So now this is going to tell us the pain points and the solutions we can actually pitch to Mr. Oluwaseun. So now The first pain point he said is inconsistency in product quality. Negative reviews highlight issues with product consistency, which may indicate quality control. So now it's going to tell us the kind of solution you can actually offer to Mr. Oluwaseun. Next AI Lab can implement an AI-driven quality assurance systems that uses machine to analyze production data and flag anomalies in real time. So if I want to pitch, I can just use this pain point and pitch a solutions to him. It's as easy as that. Now, let's look at the second pain point. At least if we did not buy to our first pain point, you should be able to buy at our second pain point. High operational cost and inefficiency. So now, FMN, blah, 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 blah. So you can actually build a process, what's called automation solution that can streamline operation by automating repetitive tasks across various departments, blah, 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 stuff like that. Then also, these are another pain points: slow adaptation to market demand. The company's growth initiative indicates they struggle to rapidly adapt to changing market trends, as noted in comments regarding slow product launches. This after he has done all the research about what these companies offer. So we can actually, he gave us the solution that Next AI Lab can develop an AI-powered market analysis tool to provide actionable insights swiftly, helping FMN identify and respond to market demand proactively. I don't even know where he works, but using this lead research agent, he tells me everything I need to know about him, where he works, and he also tells me what's called I can also build for him. Now, this one is also another pinpoint: limited customer engagement. Several reviews after anything scraped out, checked all his data, their company, blah blah. Now, several reviews indicate that customer support is lacking with delayed response to inquiries and complaints. Do I know? I don't know. So now I can pitch to him that we can develop an AI agent for customer service that can provide 24/7 support, ensuring faster response times and improve customers' what's called blah 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 stuff like that. So this is LinkedIn profile. This is about and blah 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 stuff like that. So that's just it. So that's just it. If I want to pitch to another person now, so this thing saves me a whole lot of time. If I want to pitch to people, I don't go stressing myself, checking their company, checking their profile, blah blah. The AI agent is going to run through everything and just give me the pinpoint, and I use that to pitch to client. So as I was explaining, now after the core node, we also have the last one, which is the logic node. Now, the logic node, these ones think, they don't fetch or send data. The logic node does not fetch or what's called send data. The logic node is your if node. These are the families under logic node. We have the if node, we have the if node, we also have the switch node, we have the switch node, we have the switch node, and we also have the merge node. We have the merge, we have the merge node, we have the merge node, and we also have the wait node, the wait node. So now all these are under the family of the logic node, right? They're under the family of the logic node. These ones are not triggers, they don't fetch data, they don't send data. What this one does is they decide what happens next. So now, like for example, for this if node, it says maybe it's just like a true or false. If we all know what true or false um, is. So we all know what a true or false is. So it can actually tells us that okay, let's say the if node is if the customer spent more than $100, send a gift. if not, skip, pause. That's just about the if node. And the switch node is just like a traffic officer. You know, if you go to traffic, like a traffic officer is always there to direct you, go left, go pause, go left, go right, do this, do this. So that's just what the switch node actually does. So the merge node is when you use to merge two data together. Maybe because there's sometimes when we start building complex automation that involve binary items. So so that sometimes we may actually be building workflows that might involve binary items. So you might need a merge node to actually merge both your data and your binary so that you won't lose your binary item. And also the wait node, it pauses your workflow. Let's say, like now, if I'm sending a cold DM, I want to send a cold DM to 1,000 people. In order for me to trigger, not to trigger the what's called the spam, blah blah stuff. Because if I send 1,000 emails a day, it might trigger something that I feel like okay, I'm spamming people's mail. So I can use the wait node to say okay, after 5 hours, continue. After 3 hours, continue. So the wait node actually pauses your workflow. Let's say hold on for one day before sending a reminder, and that is just all about now the wait node. So I think I also talked about the HTTP request node. This one is actually the bridge to the world. So the HTTP request node, HTTP request node. So the HTTP request node, it allows you to connect to any website or any API in this world. This HTTP request node, you can connect to any API, especially if anything does not have any inbuilt node for it. So you can use the HTTP request node to connect it. Now, imagine it's like your automation smartphone. It can actually call, test, or fetch data from anyone. That's what this HTTP request node does. You can use it to send data to your CRM, post to Slack, fetch AI results, or even get the current weather. Like for here now, for this particular automation workflow, um, anything does not have a built-in node for me to be able to scrape from relevance AI. I use relevance AI to scrape his data. So I use the HTTP request node to actually do this operation right right here. So I don't know if you guys can hear me, please. Can you all hear me? Please, can you all hear me? Okay. So you can use the HTTP request node to get whatever you need to get, and you never be limited again. Then you also have talked about the set node. So in our last class, we also use the set node also. We also use the set node. I talked about what the set node actually does. Um, the set node is just like a mini workshop. So it helps you create any data or modify existing data. Like in our previous automation, I used the set node because I had a lot of data coming in that I don't even need. So I used the set node to modify my existing data to get to create a new data. So let's say you receive a lead with first name only. You can use set node to actually create a full name, add timestamp, label to the lead as a new blah blah stuff like that. So I've explained merge, I've explained wait node, I've explained schedule trigger. Also, we have the code node, my favorite node. I love coding a lot, even though I don't know how to code. Don't ask me how. But I code, but I don't know how to code. So leave that one between me and my automation. So now, what this code node actually does is um, You need sometimes you might need extra power. Sometimes anything might not give you what you want. So the code note allows you to write small JavaScript code to handle data exactly how you want it. For instance, you can use the code note to calculate a discount or clean up text because there are sometimes maybe the information you'll be getting might be very, very messy. So you might use a code note to actually clean the data that are coming. So it's just like giving your automation a little bit of your own. So far so good. I've explained what a webhook node does. It receives leads, blah blah, a set node, blah blah, HTTP request node, and stuff like that. Now, always rename your nodes clearly. Please, always rename your load clearly. Don't just leave it as edit, HTTP, blah blah. Rename it. If the first HTTP request one is rename it to okay, what that particular node is functioning so that it will, when you are debugging you it will be very, very easier for you to know what you are building. Then you can also use notes to remind yourself what each node also does. So please always use set node also almost often so that you can have a clean data and easy to manage. And always try to test each step before you actually run once executing. So store your API very well. I think that's all. So now once you understand all these nodes for you, it's very, very easy for you to build any automation. You don't need to be a coder to build automation. You just need to understand how this node works to connect to systems that actually work. So after this class, I expect you guys to, oh please, Miracle, send me the attendance link. Please, let's take attendance. So after this class, I expect you all to go and experiment these different nodes, build something crazy with all these nodes, and remember how you can actually use it in your few automations that are coming. So that's just it for tonight. I hope I was able to deliver excellently tonight. Shemo deliver. Did I deliver excellently tonight? That's just it. I hope I did justice to everything I taught tonight. So far, so good. I've talked about APIs, webhook, execution. Okay, I've not talked about API. So I've done justice to everything you guys need to know. So I don't want to hear any complaint when we start building complex workflow. I don't want to hear I don't understand this, I don't understand that. Please, I'm doing all my best now for you to understand. So when I start the real work, nobody sh- nobody should come for me that I don't understand that. Please and please. So I hope I did justice to everything. Do you guys got value? I hope you guys got value actually. Okay, what's the challenge? What's the challenge? Let me know. What challenge are you facing? Elahami. So what challenge are you facing? Let me know. Someone said you have a challenge. So please when you fill the attendance link, we are going to group you guys into 10 groups. I'm expecting just in fact I'm happy that I don't have up to 100 people here. So I just want just 10 groups for your capstone project. So I just, for the sake of those that are not coming from tech background, me say I did not come from tech background. I'm coming from sales. I'm coming from sales. So that's just it. You need my WhatsApp number. I'm going to drop it on Telegram. I'm going to think about it first, but I'm going to drop it on Telegram. I'm going to drop it on Telegram. I'll drop it on Telegram group. All right. So, any other questions? Let me know. Any other questions? Attendance. As usual, after class, go and drop what you learned today on LinkedIn X. Keep building in public. I'm shouting build in public. I'm shouting build. I know what I'm saying. Build in public. See, you don't even know when a client is going to message you. Build in public. Build in public. Hmm. If I tell you that when I started building in public, a lot changed. Even though I regretted that I should have started earlier, but still yet, hmm, I'm not where I was supposed to be. So build in public, and you guys are doing amazing well. That guy that I said I'm going to send a DM after this class, expect me in your DM. I like your work. You're doing amazingly well. So I'm saying all your guys. There's this girl also. The girl also she did well. She has something like VA in her name on Twitter. I also bookmark her post. So I'm bookmarking those people that I know that are doing amazing well. I'm bookmarking your post. So you guys are doing amazing well. So in our next class, I'll be treating API, and I think API, yeah, I'll be treating about API and what API is. Reading in public is not easy, not for introverts, but you don't have a choice. If you want to make money, you have to go out there. Even $10 self, as rich as $10 is, $10 self is still building in public. I remember when he launched his book, Making It Big. I was shocked when I saw $10 dancing on TikTok. Like, bro, what else do you want again? Hmm. As rich as he is, he's still dancing on TikTok advertising his own book. So what is your excuse? At least I believe nobody's richer than $10. If you are richer than $10, then you don't need to be on this call. In fact, I need to be in your DM self to ask for updates. So if you are an introvert, you need to build in public. Shikoku is very, very important. And building in public these days now, it's no longer what's called, it's now a necessity. It's very, very important for you. As long as you're in the tech space, it's now very, very important for you to build in public because you don't even know where your clients are going to come. I met a founder, an agency owner. This guy clearly told me he doesn't use Upwork, he doesn't code email. Most of his clients came from LinkedIn and from his YouTube channel. About 70% of his clients came from LinkedIn. Why? Because every now and then he was always talking about automation, dropping testimonials, proofs of what he has built. So all these things are lead generations to him. He doesn't play with all those kind of stuff. So don't sleep on building in public. I won't say I don't want to talk much, but the goal is just make sure you are building in public. Attendance. Let me check on my boss. Maybe she has slept. Yeah, she would. Let me check up on her. I don't think she's on this call. Okay, she's on the call already. Okay, so here's the attendance link. I'm going to close in the attendance in 30 minutes now. So here's the attendance link. Um, I just dropped the attendance link now. I just dropped the attendance link in the comment section. I've dropped the attendance link for you guys to go through it. Yes, I sure. So any other things for tonight again? I sure for what you've done for me. Yes, sure. Not connecting care. Could possible. Please just copy it or screenshot it. I don't know how you guys want to do it. So those that did not attend class, carry on. So fill the attendance link. Fill it. Fill it. Make sure you fill the attendance link, please. Make sure you fill the attendance. Make sure you fill the attendance link. Oh, please make sure you fill the attendance link because we're going to start grouping everyone to their various respective groups for the capstone project and what you guys are going to be working on. So, Echo, fill the attendance sheet, please, before you go. Please. You guys want access to this video for 24 hours. Yeah. Hey, God, I beg. I can't promise. I can't promise actually. I can't promise. I can't promise you guys will have access to the video. But immediately after this class, do your best to go through it again if you want to go through it.